Hi, welcome to another edition of the Willie Bragg Show again. Um, I am doing a couple of videos today because there's a lot of shit going on right now, and I need to get a lot of information out. So I'm going to try to put out as many as I can in the next couple of days. So bear with me. We're going to start off with our theme song, and we'll get the show on the road. Hold tight. As I said, hold tight. And let's get it all started right now. Welcome to another edition of the Willie Bragg Show. I am your host, Willie Bragg. I want to talk about the election in Pennsylvania this past week. A very special election. what's the incumbent name? The Republican incumbent, Pete Toomey, I believe is his name, from for the current U.S. senator in Pennsylvania. Apparently, he's retiring, and what looks like it's going to be a red wave in November. We just don't know how bad it's going to be, but it looks like the Republicans are going to win. We just don't know how bad the Democrats are going to have their asses kicked. But the one shining light, if one must look at the two-party system and find hope in the two-party system and look at one of the dominant parties, and not just look at one of the dominant parties and say, well, lesser evil winning good, but, finding a candidate that's really, really good on paper. Because there are a lot of candidates who are great on paper. And we've seen them before, called the Squad, AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, Cori Bush, the original Squad. And we have a slightly expanded Squad now. And we have Friends of the Squad. And I don't consider the Progressive Caucus our friends at this point. And sometimes the Squad wears my patience thin. Even at times Bernie Sanders will wear my patience thin. But I think that we need to realize what we're against. And it's called the two-party system. And even what's supposed to be our very best within the two-party system. Well, one of the two dominant parties being more of a letdown than not. Still, I try to think if there's an insurgent campaign coming along, then I say, let's go and check this candidate out and see how well he or she will do. And, and if this person wins, my gosh, let's wish them all the luck in the world. Let this person be the wrecking ball, and let this person just, figuratively speaking, tear shit up, fuck shit up, like when AOC was doing a sit-in at Nancy Pelosi's office in the early days. I mean, we need more of that AOC, not the AOC that's Nancy Pelosi's doormat, where she's just sitting there scolding AOC, making her almost cry all the time. We need less of that. We need an AOC that's ready to just rip everybody out that gets in her way. And I mean corporate Democrats, and I mean Republicans. And to the point of irrelevancy. Well, at least, she keeps Chuck Schumer from being less shitty. I guess we can take comfort in that. Notice how I sarcastically smile. Let's talk about Pennsylvania. His name is John Fetterman. He got the Democratic nomination. He was fighting against Conor Lamb, who is a congressman from the 17th Congressional District. And it was kind of a bloody battle. And it was an unusual race where usually the progressive or left-wing candidate is an underdog. And if they win, they are winning after a bloody fight. But it was a cakewalk for John Fetterman. And it was awesome. It was awesome. And he's, as I said, on paper, when it comes to policy, he's awesome on policy. This guy, if you haven't seen him, he's kind of like if Jesse Ventura and Bernie Sanders, and those two guys are straight, but if, let's say, two guys, if men could actually get pregnant, it's like if Jesse Ventura and Bernie Sanders fucked and had a child, the offspring will be this guy, John Fetterman. And that's basically what I'm saying. On paper, the ideology, the policy positions, this guy is what a Democrat was 55, 60 years ago. Not what a Democrat became during the times of Bill Clinton. And I will argue probably about 15 years prior to the rise of Bill Clinton. No, this is what a Democrat should be. This is a Democrat in the tradition of Hubert Humphrey without the baggage of Vietnam. This is a Democrat in the tradition of George McGovern. This is a Democrat in a tradition, if you want to use some modern day names, Paul Wellstone, people of that nature. And so, a 1990s Bernie Sanders. Now, as I said, he became the lieutenant governor of Pennsylvania, and he decided to run for the U.S. Senate. And he was demonized by corporate Democratic establishments in the same way that Nina Turner was demonized in that district. What was it? The 11th district in Ohio. I think it's the 11th or 25. I cannot remember now. She was cheated twice. There's no disinformation governance board to go and shut me down for saying this. So we take some comfort in saying this. But anyway, we'd be remiss to let's go ahead, and I'm going to show two videos, and there's relevancy. One is a serious video on John Fetterman. The other one is lighthearted. And I'll explain about the lighthearted one later on. So first, we're going to do the serious one. And it kind of gives you an introduction of John Fetterman during the primaries from a while back. This is from the Kyle Kulinski show. I'm going to put it on fast speed so you get it, but you'll get the gist of what he had to say about John Fetterman and how corporate Democrats were sounding like Rush Limbaugh in 1993. And this is when Democrats get mad at me for being so shitty on them. This is why I get pissed off and shit on the Democrats. And while I like to listen to Kyle Kulinski, even though his material runs dry sometimes, he does explain well what is wrong with the Democrats. And I wish he'll embrace independent politics more. But anyway, suffice to say, here we go. I'll be putting it on speed. Hold tight. Here we go.
A primary going on for the Senate in Pennsylvania, for the U.S. Senate in Pennsylvania. And you have corporate Democrat Conor Lamb up against progressive Democrat John Fetterman. And there's a lot of stuff to like about Fetterman. He's a workers kind of Democrat. I love that he went around wearing like basketball shorts to meet President Biden. I cannot tell you how much I respect that. Oftentimes, you guys see this, I'm sure you have, that oftentimes when I do Crystal Kyle and Friends, I'm wearing, my button-up shirt or whatever and the jacket, but I'll wear like matching sweatpants underneath, where it's like, maybe people will think these are business pants, maybe not, but either way, I want to be comfortable, so I'm going to wear these shits. So Fetterman is exactly like me in that respect. He's like, I don't know, why do I have to wear that? Why can't I just be comfortable? Imagine me. It was like a day in winter, and he met Biden outside in like basketball shorts. Goat shit. Love it. Anyway, but his politics are decent. Way better than Conor Lamb. So Conor Lamb is down big time. This is the corporate Democrat. This is the guy with all the institutional backing, all the big money backing. He's got a super PAC. Conor Lamb is getting desperate. Fetterman's up by a lot. And so now he's going dirty. He's doing dirty politics. So his super PAC runs an ad on Fetterman where they attempt to smear him. Now you're going to see how they attempt to smear him. Hilarious. Let me show you the ad and then I'll react.
Can Democrats trust in the race for Senate? Conor Lamb's a former prosecutor and Marine. John Fetterman's a self-described Democratic socialist. Lamb stood up to Republicans to protect Social Security. Fetterman's been called a silver spoon socialist. Lamb won 3 tough races against Trump Republicans. Republicans think they crush socialist Fetterman. It's at stake. Fetterman's a risk we can't afford. Penn Progress is responsible for the content of this ad.
I'm not some sort of extremist like a Democratic socialist. Fetterman's a self-described Democratic socialist and a silver spoon socialist. Thank you for the ad that you're running back in 1993.
Oh my God, I hate this. Hold on.
People are going to watch that and they're going to go, okay. Bernie describes himself as a Democratic socialist. Now, by the way, he's actually not. He's really a social Democrat if you go by the textbook. He's sort of like a hybrid system. And he's the most popular politician in the country, consistently, in every poll. So do you think it's really a detriment to say democratic social? Let me tell you something. Everybody knows right now we have a capitalist system or a version of a capitalist system, and people know they're getting hosed. And so that's why in some polls, depending on what age group you look at and whatnot, in some polls, democratic socialism is either equal to or even beats out capitalism. Now, look, don't get it twisted. There are plenty of polls where capitalism wins too, okay? But this isn't the own that you think it is. That's not the own that you think it is. Now, there's another little problem with it. It's not even true. He doesn't describe himself as a democratic socialist. He never has. So I think their evidence for this, or their claim, is that since he sought the endorsement of the DSA in 2016, therefore they're extrapolating and saying, see, he's a self-described democratic socialist. That's not necessarily the case. I'm sure if I ran for office that I would seek out DSA's endorsement, but I more self-describe as a social democrat or like populist left. I guess in some ways you could say maybe libertarian socialist, but I don't describe as a democratic socialist. If I seek out DSA's endorsement, that doesn't necessarily mean you're 100% in agreement with everything in their platform. That doesn't mean that. Now, the other thing is, he endorsed Bernie Sanders in 2016. Maybe they're using that to say, see, self-described democratic socialist because he's endorsing somebody who describes himself as a democratic socialist. I
want to interrupt for a second. I've been accused of being married to labels and everything by people. And they're like, oh, there you go with the labels. There you go with the labels. And I describe myself pretty much as a democratic socialist as well. And I use the term democratic socialist and social democrat or social democratic ideologue interchangeably. I also am using the term libertarian socialist too. I am starting to use it because Michael Foot, the former leader of the British Labour Party in the 1960s, described himself as a libertarian socialist when a BBC reporter asked him where was the mainstream of his socialism. And if you never heard of Michael Foot, I encourage you to look him up. He was meant to be prime minister. Unfortunately, Margaret Thatcher prevented him from being prime minister in 1983. The right-wing press called his British Labour Party manifesto the longest suicide note in history. But that British Labour Party manifesto, it was exactly what Great Britain needed in 1983. But suffice to say, let's go back to America. I just wanted to go and interrupt for a second. I'll let Kyle talk some more.
I don't know what sort of a stretch of an argument they're using. Then there's also examples in some news outlets have said that he self-describes as a democratic socialist, but according to him, he's like, I never said that. I never said that. Now, by the way, I don't care. Because even if he did describe himself that way, okay, based. Like, it's a lot better than whatever the hell Conor Lamb is. And look at what he says about himself there. So he says, well, I'm good. Why? Because I was a prosecutor and a Marine. This is like perfect democratic hack, liberal elite identity politics. Prosecutor is definitionally good. Marine is definitionally good. Democratic socialist is definitionally bad. It's just, again, 1993 called, they want their lines of attack back. Okay?
Yes. And for a millennial like Kyle, one of the reasons I like his show is it's like he understands that time period, even though he was very young and obviously did not know what was going on at that time. But I do, because I was in my 20s and I understand that real well. Even from personal experience, when people were telling me when I was in the College Democrats, we're new Democrats. We're not New Deal Democrats anymore. And, and the attacks that this Conor Lamb used were lines of attacks that I seem to remember very well right-wing people were using in the 1990s. It's amazing. It's amazing that how far to the right that the Democratic Party are willing to go to destroy an insurgent progressive campaign, to prevent the Democratic Party from going back to its New Deal roots. They rather suck Ronald Reagan's cock than to go back to its New Deal's roots. I keep, it's totally ridiculous. Let me keep going on.
And then the other thing he goes on to say is like, oh, Conor Lamb protected Social Security. A Democratic Socialist would not only protect Social Security, they would expand Social Security. So it's just, the ad is deeply hackish. So Fetterman saw this, his team saw this, and I guess they were asked about it, and they responded. Let me show you what that response is. With Democrats like Conor Lamb, who needs Republicans? Let me make this a little bigger. Joe Calvello, spokesman for Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman's campaign for U.S. Senate, on Tuesday released the following statement after Conor Lamb's super PAC began airing negative attack ads on TV across Pennsylvania. Quote, Conor Lamb maybe the only person in Pennsylvania who saw the trash the Republican side is putting on TV and said, yeah, we need more of that. Conor Super PAC ads aren't just demonstrably false, they're desperate and frankly sad. Conor hasn't been able to gain ground with Democrats, so he's decided to run like a Republican and use Fox News talking points to attack a fellow Democrat. Quote, but let's be clear, Conor Lamb Super PAC, which is run by DC insiders, is attacking John because he is not one of them. John doesn't spend his time backslapping with lobbyists and doing the bidding of rich donors like other politicians. They're attacking John because they know if he wins, they lose. They know when John gets to Washington, they won't be able to control him or buy his vote. They know John will truly fight for the people of Pennsylvania, and that terrifies them. Quote, a candidate whose only argument is that he's a winner should be running a much better campaign than this. The fact that Conor has a super PAC trying to save him is a frank admission that his campaign is failing to break through and that he's in trouble. God damn, son. Stop. He's already bleeding. He's already laying on the ground bleeding out. Stop hitting him, dog. You got him. You got him. That was a devastating response. The response is like, you're using right-wing lines of attack. Why? Well, because you're kind of right-wing yourself. And also, the real issue here is you're an elite insider schmoozing with lobbyists and doing the bidding of big corporations, and I'm not. I'm actually going to fight for the people. So you run some trash ad like this. Perfect response. Perfect response. And low-key, just between me and you, it was sort of a little wink and a nod there. It's like, maybe I don't describe as a democratic socialist, but are they my allies? I guess they are. Which again, based, the most liked politician in the country, national politician, is Bernie Sanders, and he's self-described as a democratic socialist. So there was no because what would a less skilled and more vapid Democratic politician do in this instance? I'm not a Democratic socialist. I'm not that. I don't want good things for people. I also want bad things for people, just like you. But he didn't do that, did he? He went to the line of attack of you're an insider. You schmooze with lobbyists. You do the bidding of big corporations and billionaires. I don't. I represent the people. And so you're just going to use hack lines of attack like this. Perfect response. Now, this story has a happy ending. I mean, it's already, with that response, it's already devastating. It's already a great ending. In the media markets where this ad was being run, it was pulled. And it was pulled for misinformation. Now, look, I don't know who's responsible for pulling it. I don't know, the mechanics of who made that decision. But from what I read, it seemed to imply it was whoever's in charge of those media markets. They were uncomfortable running it because they were like, this isn't correct. And so we don't want this running on our airwaves. Runs a dumb ad. It hurts him. Gets a rebuttal. That destroys him. Remember, he's down big time, Conor Lamb. And then the ad gets pulled, and he runs away with his tail between his legs. I love it. I love it. Support John Fetterman. He's a million times better than Conor Lamb. Conor Lamb is an insider hack, total corporate Democrat, total smug prick. Fetterman's politics are just better. He's a workers' kind of Democrat. He could actually bring about positive change in many respects. And I think he handled this so-called scandal perfectly. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe.
Okay. That's it for Kyle. But I will say this. If I lived in Pennsylvania, I'm not a Democrat. I detest the Democratic Party as much as the Republican Party. The Republican Party, there are reasons I despise the Republican parties in their own unique way, and there are things about the Democrats I despise about them in their own unique way. But as far as voting for a person, not voting for a party, but voting for a person, I figured there'd be no harm if I lived in Pennsylvania to go and vote for John Fetterman. He seems very refreshing. And the thing about it is, it's not that I don't want people thinking, oh, he's being sheep herded back into the Democratic Party. I will vote for an independent if there's a fucking independent to vote for. I live in North Carolina. Now, I'm voting for Matthew Howe for Senate in November, who's the Green Party candidate. And I will probably be leaving everything else blank because there's not a fucking Democrat, and I'm not voting Republican. And if the Libertarians are going to sound like a Tea Partier, there's no point in voting for a Libertarian. So if I have to do my homework with any candidate if I'm going to vote for any candidate for a political party other than, let's say, the Green Party. The likely choice would be a Democrat, but I have to do my homework on that Democrat. And the Democrat is a corporate Democrat. They can lick my asshole. Seriously. And if the Republican, forget about it. Nothing will make me vote Republican. Libertarian, depends on what issues they're passionate about. If they call themselves libertarian and they sound like Marjorie Taylor Greene, they can go to hell. They can fuck themselves and go to hell. But if they're a libertarian and they are like, I'm anti-war, I'm pro-LGBTQ, I'm pro-pot legalization, I am against the national security state. I mean, they're basically hippy-dippy, but really have crappy economics. I can live with the crappy economics because I know they're not going to get elected, but they're bringing other issues where I can overlap and I can, like if they're anti-death penalty, that sort of thing. But green is my political preference these days at the voting booth. So, but as far as in Pennsylvania, would I vote for John Fetterman? I would vote for John Fetterman, but, I'm not going to expect him to change the world. But as I said, considering what could potentially defeat him and take place, I can't think of Dr. Oz, the thought of him or that McCormick guy becoming senators, that certainly would be a worst case scenario. So that's all I have to say about that. Now, I want to be a little more lighthearted, so I'm going to go and play this video. This is from 2016. And although John Fetterman is not in this video, there's a John Fetterman connection. If you're familiar with Jaclyn Glenn, she does YouTube commentary, and she's not like deeply political, but I mean, she's left-leaning and a very likable person. I tend to like her. I mean, I don't watch her a whole lot, but what I've seen from her, I tend to like and all of that. And anyway, she did a video on what was called Donald Trump's dumbest fan, and I'm playing this, and I'm not clowning on John Fetterman, but you need to watch this. So let me play you this video, and I'll quickly comment, and then I'm signing off for today. So here we go, and here's the video. You'll love this. This is from 2016.
You think that I am Donald Trump's biggest fan because I just want to hump Trump, like I so eloquently said on my last video. I just want to hump Trump. But I think I might have found somebody that loves him just a little bit more.
Let's look at the fucking presidential race in a serious light. The Americans are not respecting like they used to be. Donald Trump will bring that back with times fucking 10.
The Americans.
Those
Americans times fucking 10. So this guy is a huge Donald Trump fan. I pulled these clips from 4 different videos on his channel, one of which I think was titled Donald Trump is a God. But he drives around in his car and rants about how awesome Donald Trump is and how everyone else pretty much sucks. But don't worry, even though he's driving around in his car, he doesn't have road rage or temper issues or, do anything that might distract him. He's a very good, kind, and considerate driver.
Put a turn signal on fuck stain? Piece of shit.
Okay, maybe not. But he's not always an angry guy. He's got a funny, happy side. It's not at all creepy.
Oh, God. Y'all motherfuckers hate Donald Trump because the motherfucker's a straight up beast.
Yeah, that's why people don't like Trump. It's because he's just a straight up beast. But that's
anyway, let me just pause here for a second. I'm not clowning on John Fetterman, but the guy in the car looks just like John Fetterman. That's why I'm playing this video. It's the irony. I mean, this guy that she's making fun of is a Donald Trump fan, and John Fetterman is essentially a Bernie bro. And the fact that they look so much alike is what makes it funny. So I'm going to play you the rest of this video. And as I said, it was humorous. So I just decided to play this. And Jaclyn Glenn, if there's any copyright situation, just contact me, and I'll go and do something about this video if you want me to take it down and all that. I'm not trying to get in your trying to steal your thunder and all of that. So anyway, let's continue.
That's okay. This guy, he knows politics really well, so his endorsement of Trump is obviously significant.
I'll tell you what, I don't know much about politics, Donald. I don't really think you do either, but I'm going to tell you something.
Just kidding. He literally just said, I don't know much about politics, and then followed it with, but I don't think Trump does either. Okay, that, might be something important for being the president, but maybe not, maybe that's not a prerequisite.
I'd make a hell of a goddamn running mate to be vice president. Think about it. Me and you, Trump and Martin.
Trump and Martin, doesn't that sound fun? This guy is pretty desperate for Donald Trump's attention. He mentions being vice president so many times throughout so many of his videos. It's clearly, his little dream.
Tell you what, Trump and Martin, I want to be the vice president. Trump, listen, I will do anything to be the vice president.
Please, Donald Trump, I will do anything. All I want to do is be vice president to Donald Trump, and we'll beat everyone's fucking ass.
Many of these other fucking countries out there want to fuck with us. We're going to give them lead. We won't even be bodyguards. I'd be our fucking bodyguard. Think about it.
Please, I will do anything. I will literally do anything to be your vice president. I will suck your...
So anyway, vote for Trump. Whatever the fucking electoral is, whatever the fuck it is. Vote for Trump. He's got my vote.
You can take me seriously. Whatever the electoral?
Whatever the fucking electoral is.
For the electoral, you mean the election, bro. Election, bro. Whatever that fucking electoral thing is, just vote for Trump. It gets even better. His views on foreign policy, perfect.
We need that fat meatball in South Korea, whatever the fuck his name is, Han-Yang Gung-Gang. We need his ass to fear us. That's what we need. Donald Trump will probably wipe that fucking place off the fucking world.
We'll wipe that place off the fucking world, bitch.
And we will be respected. And that's all I got to say about that. At this juncture.
Oh my God. Now, folks, tell me, if that doesn't, isn't that like if John Fetterman was right wing? Honestly, whoever this guy is, apparently he doesn't have a YouTube channel anymore. But Jaclyn Glenn, as I said, was making fun of this guy. And I saw this video years ago. And so a friend of mine happened to watch, of all things, watch Fox. And this is before he was going to run for the Senate. Nothing to do with running for the Senate. He just happened to be on the news, John Fetterman, and he called me and told me, take a look and watch on Fox News. And I took a peek, and he said, doesn't this guy look like the guy from the Jaclyn Glenn video? And I was thinking to myself, absolutely, he does look like that crazy guy from the Jaclyn Glenn video. And then I heard him being interviewed. I was like, but he has nothing politically in common with the guy in that Jaclyn Glenn video. I mean, he sounds more like he'd be for Bernie Sanders. Then of course I heard about him about a month ago. I was like, oh my goodness, he sounds like a cross between Bernie Sanders and Jesse Ventura. Anyway, let's continue.
Why do you have to yell about every single thing? And sometimes whenever you scream, the timing doesn't make sense.
Oh, hi, Daryl. How are you?
You know, he's about to be the United States president, the 43rd or 40, whatever the fuck it is, president of the United States. So I'm voting for Donald fucking Trump, and I suggest you motherfuckers do too.
The 12th, 78th, 57th, fourth president. Fuck everybody, it doesn't matter. Donald Trump, 2016. Make America great again. But let's not waste all of our time talking about Donald Trump when we can bash everyone else.
Ted Cruz is 2 years fucking younger than me. Who would you want to fucking represent the United fucking States? That motherfucker or me?
Well, I am certainly not a Ted Cruz fan. I made a video about him a long time ago. But honestly, in this scenario where I have the choice of that motherfucker and you, God, I would actually give my vote to Cruz because you scare me.
Look at that.
Nah. Ted Cruz is a piece of shit. At least this guy got a sense of humor. I mean, this guy's got a sense of humor. Ted Cruz is a piece of shit. There's just no way around it. Ted Cruz is a motherfucking piece of shit. I wouldn't give no leeway whatsoever for Ted Cruz. I mean, this guy I could have a beer with. I mean, you know, I don't agree with anything hardly what he have to say, but I mean, at least I can have a beer with this guy. I think he's got a sense of humor. But no, Ted Cruz can fuck off. Let's see.
That motherfucker, then you look at me. Take a look at him, look at me. Look at that. Huh? Look at that motherfucker, then you look at me. Take a look at him, look at me. Look at that. Huh? Imagine the fucking women that would love me to be fucking president.
My God, yes. All of the women just want you. I want you to be president because you're so hot. Oh my God. I said I wanted to hump Trump, but baby, I want to hump you.
I wish Donald Trump would fucking have me as his fucking vice president, because I'm going to tell you, think about this. Trump Martin. That would be a pretty awesome fucking candidacy. Because if something happened to Trump, guess what? Bingo! I'm there. I'm taking over the country. Think about that.
Oh God, yeah. I thought about it. I did, and it's terrifying. So no, thank you. But Ted Cruz, we're not done with you yet.
If you're really that sensitive about Donald Trump putting a picture of his wife up next to your wife, my advice to you, Ted Cruz, is to get a better fucking looking wife. Get a better looking wife.
That's right, Cruz. You just need to get a better fucking looking wife. For those of you who don't know, someone posted a photo of Ted Cruz's wife. It was like a photo of her not expecting it, so she looks, you know, like she's not expecting a photo of her to be taken. And they put it side by side with Donald Trump's wife, who is, I think they put a modeling photo of her. And they were making fun of Ted Cruz's wife because apparently attacking your opponent's political views is not the point of politics whenever you're trying to win a primary election. The point is actually to insult the looks of that person, and even worse, the looks of that person's wife. So my best advice, and his best advice, would just clearly be not to be nice and to actually debate like an adult whenever it comes to actually making political progress and comparing views and ideologies. You should just insult the wife. Get a better fucking looking wife. Duh.
Trump, an ugly guy, but gets high-end pussy. You, an ugly guy, don't even know what you got. I seen your wife. I mean, next to Melania Trump. I mean, what do you expect?
What do you expect? I am pussy, motherfucker. Now let's talk about Bernie fucking Sanders.
Do you want Bernie Sanders in office? Motherfucker looks like he's half dead. Looks like he got half his body in the grave already.
Oh, wow, very honest and legitimate criticism of Bernie Sanders. I mean, I could not have possibly said it better than wow, so eloquently spoken. I wonder what the Hillary Clinton sound is.
And Hillary Clinton? Come on.
Hillary Clinton can't defeat that argument. It's foolproof.
Hillary Clinton is so goddamn horrible at her job that she can't even speak remotely sentable when she's speaking in sentences context. She's fucking straight up horrible. And if she runs this country, she's gonna run right fucking out.
Wait. You're making fun of the way that Hillary Clinton speaks, and you said that she can't even speak remotely what?
Remotely sentable.
Sentable? The fuck? Remotely sentable.
Sentable.
That's a word. I mean, now. It's a word now.
When she's speaking in sentences context, she's fucking straight up horrible.
When she's speaking in sentences context, she can't even speak remotely sentable when she's speaking in sentences context. Exactly. I could not have said it better myself.
And if she runs this country, she's gonna run right fucking out.
And if she runs this country, she's gonna run
right fucking out.
And if she runs this country,
You know I'm not being paid by Donald Trump, although I am personal friends of Donald Trump.
Oh, okay. That explains everything. They're personal friends. They must be very, very close. I wonder where they met.
Me and Donald Trump played Call of Duty together about 3 years ago. Black Ops 1.
Oh, Black Ops 1. Oh, okay. Okay, sure.
We ran a mission over there in fucking Hanoi. And I gotta be honest with you, he worked pretty well under my tutelage, and I'm ready to work well under his tutelage.
Excellently spoken, sir. Anyways, I found this guy's channel, and his videos were hilarious. If you want to watch them, I will link them in the description below. Have fun with that. You would hope that someone like this would be fake, but I really don't think that he is. Let me know what you think about him in the comment section below, and make sure to watch my Donald Trump song, because I just want to hump Trump. I just want to hump Trump. Anyways, thanks for watching. All my social media links are in the description below. Like this video and share it everywhere. And also, if you'd like to, tweet it to Donald Trump, because I'm sure he would get a kick out of his biggest fan. And let me end it on one strong note.
Vote Donald Trump or elect a chump.
Bye. Donald Trump, I just wanna hump Trump. I just wanna hump Trump.
Alrighty, I know I subjected you all to that long enough. I did, I know. But anyway, I wanted to play that. It's kind of lighthearted. But am I right? Didn't that guy kind of remind you like a MAGA John Fetterman? Like if John Fetterman was a MAGA instead of a Bernie bro. That's what made it funny. Because I mean, it was funny when I didn't even know who the hell John Fetterman was. But then when I saw John Fetterman for the first time years ago on the news and found out who he was, and I was like, oh my God, he does look like that guy in that video of Jaclyn Glenn. And then found out he's running for the U.S. Senate, and I'm like, oh my goodness, he's running for the U.S. Senate. He might actually make it to the U.S. Senate. And so anyway, as I said, you know, I hope to see John Fetterman win because I like the guy. I mean, not the politics of the guy driving in that car in the Jaclyn Glenn video. I mean, I think he's likable in a non-political way, but the politics, yeah. But John Fetterman's politics is good. You know, Medicare for all, free college, legalization of marijuana, transgender rights, opposition to the war, all this sort of things that our movement have been strongly for. He's pretty good on these issues, and so. I said, just go ahead and give him a try. Go ahead and support this guy. And as I say, you're not voting for him as a Democrat. You're voting for him as an individual. Yeah, that's if you live in Pennsylvania. You're voting for him as an individual. You're not voting for him as a Democrat. Fuck the Democrats, but vote for a good person. And because this country's fucked up with the electoral system. We have a fucked up electoral system, which you're damn if you do, and you're damn if you don't. If you vote third party, you're fucked. If you vote within the two-party system, you're fucked. You don't know what to do. And so, I mean, and I'm not clowning on anybody that goes in one direction only. If there are people who do one direction only, and I understand why they do one direction only. And I'm probably more sympathetic to those who would do one direction on the independent side than those who will do exclusively inside the Democratic Party. But I have always relied on inside, outside. Inside, outside is the only comfort zone I know until something's got to give. And I just don't know I don't have the answers. So anyway, if we have a chat line here, it's pretty damn busy today. Let's go and scroll back up to the top. Let's see. Well, mine is my scrolling because I always had watching. And yeah, Kevin Toohey was here earlier. I don't know if he's still here or not, but how are you doing, Kevin? Nice seeing you again. Let's see. When in one of the two parties is not winning, it's getting snarled in the trap of Washington. Unfortunately, I think you're right, but I don't know what the hell to do. I don't know. So Democrats living in their fake world shouldn't upset you, just like if you take a bottle from the alcoholic. I see the analogy there. If Kyle Kulinski wasn't against Ukraine involvement, if Kyle wasn't forced to vote, then he was a leftist and never had an ear. Now, Kyle's take on the Ukraine-Russian situation, it's been, I'm not going to say questionable, but he was he was kind of in a he was sort of in a unsure direction for a moment. I have gotten a little bit of some of my more mainstream liberal friends has given me some shit about it, but I'll be frank, I don't support the Ukraine. I don't support Russia. I don't support either side. I support the people of Russia. I support the people of the Ukraine. I support the people of the United States, and I support the people of Western Europe. I don't support the United States. I do not support NATO. I do not support Ukraine, and I do not support Russia. I'm an old-fashioned third camp internationalist. And somebody will say, "Oh, you're just a closet trot." For those who knows what third camp internationalist is, and trust me, I'm not a trot, but they weren't wrong about third camp internationalism. Let's see. Hi, Willie. Let's see. Will, you're doing a good job, but I'm going to have to be everybody's hardest critic. And I welcome harsh critics, Kevin. Not a problem. I'm very thick-skinned, and so no worries. I promise you. Beyond abuse, I've been witnessing an American undergoing medical torture. Well, we've had medical torture with this American system. Let's see. The problem with most self-described social democrats, they believe they can reform capitalism. That is a block to the revolution. I am a social democrat with a lowercase s and definitely a lowercase d. And when I say I'm a social democrat, I am not a third way social democrat in the tradition of Tony Blair and assholes like Emmanuel Macron and people like Gerhard Schroeder from a decade ago in Germany. I am not that type. Or Bob Rae, who was the premier of Ontario back in the early 1990s. I am not of that ilk at all. I am an old-fashioned traditional social democrat with heavy emphasis on public ownership. If you will, the 1970s platform or manifesto of the Social Democratic Party of Sweden, they had an actual radical platform and were committed toward actual socialism. And unfortunately, they had to backtrack off of it. Unfortunately, I wish they have it. I wish they would revisit I think it was their 1976 platform. I wish they would revisit that. I only care about one label. You are revolutionary or reformist. Reformists need to learn to step aside and sit down and shut up and to get out of the way of the revolution. Now, am I a reformist or a revolutionary? I used to be a reformist. One could say that socialism is the ultimate reform. Or you could say that I believe in reformism. I accept reformism if it's going to do what it's supposed to do. I mean, like a $15 an hour minimum wage is a damn good start. It's not going to cure anything, but it's a step in the right direction. You know, as half-assed as a public option is, and when it comes to healthcare, I'm very radical. National Health Service all the way, like they have in Great Britain. But you know, public option is a step in the right direction. We're not even getting that at this point. If you're running shows for a week and you never mention the word revolution, you are a bona fide reformist. If you're not talking about revolution, most of the time you impede progress. Well, revolution, I am for a revolution. I believe in what was called the Carnation Revolution in Portugal in 1974. That kind of revolution. I mean, I'm not like a guns blazing kind of revolution. I'm saying that that's what you are for. I'm not saying that, but but I believe in revolution as far as radical change that's going to change people's lives for the better, and that those changes to be permanent. See Revolutionary Blackout. I know the show you're referring to. I actually do watch it. You're talking about Sabby Sabs and Nick Cruz and all of them. I've seen that show. I like it. Let's see. Daryl, I saw you earlier. How are you doing? Yeah, your video is not buffering. YouTube must have stopped throttling your channel. Yeah, sometimes I think that YouTube tries to fuck with me. I don't know. I think it's that ending net neutrality under Trump. They try to, I think it has something to do with that. Let's see. I would vote for a guy, that guy over Ted Cruz. Actually, I would too if I had a choice. He had a human side. Ted Cruz is a movement conservative. Ted Cruz is what's wrong with politics today. Sometimes Jaclyn Glenn's politics are way off from my views. She seems to be kind of like an apolitical liberal, but she seems to be kind of hard to figure out sometimes too. So there you have it. Oh yeah, she's definitely easy on the eyes for sure. More of a shoe on head fan. Of course, I think most people know that. I'm probably the only person in North Carolina that owns a shoe on head plush. When she advertised that on her program, I bought it right away. And I'm hoping that she runs across my channel and notices the shoe on head plush, because I'm proud of it. So for those who are wondering what's that doll doing in the background, that's a doll of June Lapine, and I'm not as sad as it looks having her in the background. Yeah, I just thought it was cute. I just like, let's go ahead and buy it. Anyway, if you like what you heard, press like and comment if you disagree, and we'll have a conversation. Share the content on this channel. As First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it, because we're in fact the muckrakers of our time. Hit the notification bell. Hit the subscribe button. Help make this channel grow. I'm sorry that we were so long today on this video. I just kind of been wanting to do this video, so this is going to be my really, really long video. I promise not to do this for a while. But when I do this again, I will probably be drunk. And Daryl, you probably remember this when I was drunk about a year ago, maybe almost a year and a half ago. I did a drunk stream. I might do that again in the near future. I'll let you know. I'll let some people know when I do a drunk stream. A drunk stream sounds fun. I did it on election night 2020. That was fun. Anyway, so we have a class struggle to wage that class struggle. We also have to oppose all war, because there's no need for people to keep killing each other. And we have a First Amendment to save, our freedom of speech, our freedom of the press, which means that we're all Julian Assange. And that's my cue where I go. And we end with a song. Well, I mean, there's no actual singing, but with some, let's just say with some music. And until next time, again, if I haven't said it, I'll say it again. We're all Julian Assange.